Hey guys, it's Generalkidd here. How's everyone doing today? So, for today's video, I'll be showing you guys a secret timer hidden in Master Chief's cryopod in Halo 4. So, this was actually found by Corbman, who actually showed it to me on Discord. So, huge shout out and thanks to Corbman for this really cool find. So, at the beginning of Halo 4, when Chief wakes up in his cryopod, you're supposed to look up and activate this switch or pull this lever so you can exit the pod. Well, right up there, right behind that lever, is where the secret timer is hidden, and I will show you where it is in a bit. But in normal gameplay, you actually cannot see it. It's hidden out of sight. So there's a couple ways you could see it. You could use the mod tools to see it, of course, or there is a way to see it in-game as well. But you will need a mod for MCC. You could use my multiplayer Spartan and campaign mod to see it, because it does enable theater mode on MCC. But any Halo 4 mod that enables theater mode for you on MCC will let you see it. So once you are in theater mode on Halo 4 campaign, then just simply load up that mission and let it play. And then in theater mode, once you're at the Spartan pod, you just go to free camera mode and then snap it to third person again. And in third person mode, kind of position the camera so you can kind of see the switch up here, and then go back to free camera mode and don't move the camera around. Like, don't move its position around, otherwise it'll force the camera out of the pod. Leave it in the pod and just only look around. Just find a good position first, and then go to free camera mode and just simply look around until you could get a good view of where the switch is. And then once Chief pulls the switch, or once you pull the switch in normal gameplay, the pod will open up and it will reveal the timer. So the timer isn't attached to like the lid or the hatch of the pod. It's actually like floating there, and you can only see it from inside the pod. You can't see it from outside the pod when it opens up. So basically, right as you exit the pod, like right when you open it immediately, as soon as you can, the timer basically starts at around 3 months, 342 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes, and some amount of seconds. That's not like the exact number, because you're in a pod for a little bit longer than that, but that's pretty close to what it is. So what is this timer used for? Because you never actually see it in game, at least you're not supposed to, and you can only really see it with a theater mode mod. Well, my theory is that that timer is related to this point when Chief asks this question to Cortana, and she answers.
How long was I out?
4 years, 7 months, 10 days.
Somebody should have found us by now.
So I'm guessing, because at the very beginning, when you look up to the hatch, there's a little like screen above the lever to open up the hatch. The screen is blank. It's like off, and there's nothing on it. But I think this timer was supposed to be showing on that screen, and it's supposed to show how long Chief was in cryo. However, if you actually convert this time, like even right now, to the actual like how long Chief has been in cryo, it's not accurate, because it converts to about 3 years, 11 months approximately. If you want to round up a little bit, it could be 4 years exactly, which is still 7 months short of what Cortana said of 4 years, 7 months, 10 days. But it's possible this timer, it's just like, it was put there, it was temporary, they never like timed it right, and it just they cut it, and they never like ended up using it, but it was still left there. But I'm sure like if they managed to finish it and put it on the little screen here, then it would have actually showed the correct time. But for now, they kind of just threw like an approximate time on there, maybe like close to 343 as a reference, but they never finished it, and that's why the time is inaccurate. So that is my guess for what it is. And if we look at it in the mod tools, like without the mission scripts or anything, by default, when the timer is inactive, it actually just shows like this. There's no actual numbers counting up or down on it. But if you look really closely to it, the numbers are actually using like a placeholder texture on it. If you look like really close, it has like those lines and everything that are actually like a lot of objects in Halo Infinite, I think, use that exact same placeholder texture. It's like an error texture almost that you see placeholder objects use. But that's yeah, I'm guessing that's a really early development timer. Now, if you're thinking like all the other pods are the same and have this timer, then that is actually not correct either. Only Chief's pod has this timer inside it. I don't think it's actually part of the pod itself. I think it's literally just placed there as its own separate object. In fact, not every pod in this room is the same. Not every pod has the lever. Some just have nothing up there. And some pods actually do have the lever, and let's go take a look at a couple of them. So, the pods that do have the lever, they do not have the timer. Only Chief's pod has the timer. However, one interesting thing is that every pod that does have the lever, inside where the lever is, like right behind the lever, like in the screen area a little bit below it, there is a tiny little floating cube here that also has like a placeholder texture on it as well. It's just a very small cube. And like I said, every cryopod in this room that has a lever has the cube. The pods that don't have the lever do not have this floating cube there. So, what is this floating cube used for? Does it have anything to do with the timer? Well, the answer to that is that it does not have anything to do with the timer. But it's interesting that a cube is there, and it does actually serve a specific purpose. Now, in all the other pods that have it, it's kind of just like a duplicate, and it's completely unused in the other pods, so it serves no purpose in the other pods. But it does serve a purpose in Chief's pod, because if we fly back to Chief's pod and ignore all the other pods, because the other pods are never used except in co-op, but in Chief's pod, and maybe in the co-op pods it might be used sometimes, but in Chief's pod, that little cube is used as the objective marker. For some reason they needed like an actual physical cube there to attach the objective waypoint onto it. So when you're in a pod and it says like pull the lever and a little waypoint shows up, that waypoint is actually where that little cube is. So that's what the cube is used for. But it has nothing to do with the timer. The timer itself, it's definitely like meant to be cut and unused. But it is still there and it's still running. You just normally can't see it in game without enabling theater mode through mods. So I think the timer was meant to be used to show how long Chief was in Cryo, but they decided to have Cortana say it instead a little bit later in the mission. But that's just my theory. Hopefully you guys found this video to be interesting, and if you did, then as always, make sure to leave a like. Let me know your thoughts about all this, what you think the timer is actually used for, or if you agree with my theory. But aside from that, if there's anything else for me to look into or want to check out, just let me know in the comments down below. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys!